So you want to take your hair from this to this and you have no idea where to start and you don't want to spend a ton of money on expensive products. Don't worry, I got you. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who are new here, hello, I'm Jazz. I make a ton of beauty content and lifestyle content here on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Today we have an exciting video because it is yet another hair video. If you haven't already, please go check out my other hair videos. They're super informative. I talk a lot about low porosity, wavy, frizzy hair. But today specifically, we are going to be talking about fine hair. I am so happy because I feel like I have finally gained some credibility when it comes to fine hair. I never ever knew how to manage my fine hair. I went my entire life struggling with my fine hair, and I feel like now at the age of 25 I finally have a hold on it. I know the routine, I know the products, I know the tricks, I know the tips, and we are going to share all of that with you today. I do want to start this video by saying I, as you can tell, don't have beautiful, luscious, thick hair. That doesn't mean though that I don't have beautiful hair. I am so grateful to have beautiful, long, healthy hair. And is it fine? Yes. It's not thick, it's not a Victoria's Secret big voluminous blowout type of hair, but I am still very grateful, and you should also be very grateful for your hair. Yes, it is a little bit harder to manage. Yes, it doesn't look like all the TikTok girls with, you know, beautiful Matilda Jerf hair, but you should still be grateful to have beautiful, healthy hair. You just gotta learn the routine, okay? You gotta get your tips and your tricks down, and then you will be obsessed with your own hair, I promise. I will never forget when one time my friend, literally, she had beautiful, thick, luscious hair, and she's not my friend anymore. After I tell you the story, you'll see why. This is the type of girl she was. She literally grabs all of my hair, which, like I said, is very fine. So this is all of my hair. It's literally not that much. She grabs all of my hair and she's like,
"What? This is all of your hair?"
And she's like, "That's like one part of my hair." I was so shocked. I literally was like, "What did you just say?" Like, that was so awkward. Yeah, she's not my friend anymore for various reasons, but that was the first moment that I can remember where I went, wait, what is wrong with my hair? Like, why isn't it like beautiful and thick? This was way back in like high school, and I realized I have fine hair. Like, I just don't have as much hair as other girls, and that is okay. At the time, it wasn't. I wanted to literally end it all, but now we have learned how to manage our hair. So again, let's get into these tips and tricks. That way no one can ever do what they did to me to you, because at least you have healthy, beautiful hair. All right, I do want to preface this video very quickly by saying that along with fine hair, I also have low porosity, wavy, and frizzy hair, which all of that is just a combination, a very unlucky combination for me, but we have learned how to manage our hair again. So if you're interested in low porosity specific tips or wavy specific tips, definitely go check out my other hair videos. All right, tip number one is to stop using so many products in one routine and use less of each product. I used to use so many products in just one routine. I'm talking like 5 or 6, and each product used to be like a whole blob of each product that I was just putting into my hair and piling up, which is what led to buildup, what led to stringiness, and what led to frizziness. It was just not compatible with fine hair, and I think where my problem came in was that I used to watch a lot of girls on YouTube or even now on TikTok that had really nice thick hair, and they would use so much of each product, which that makes sense because they have longer, thicker hair, but that made me think that I also had to use that much product on my hair, and that is totally incorrect. If you have fine hair like me, you need to be using way less product. Like, I'm talking what the thick haired girls use, maybe a third of that, maybe a fourth of that. It is a habit, I will say. At first starting out, I just couldn't help but just want to spray just a little bit more, or want to just squeeze out just a little bit more product, and I always thought, you know, like for good measures, or like, you know, I want to have a good hair day, when really you have to put this in your head. Less is more. When it comes to fine hair, less is more. Now a hair care routine, no matter if I'm styling it wavy and natural, or if I'm doing a blowout or some heat styling, I always stick to 3 to 4 products that I know are good and compatible with my hair. There are some days where, yeah, I still want to grab one more product, but I'm like, no, do not mess up this hair day. Like, you already know what the outcome is going to be. So again, 3 to 4 products in one routine, and I only use a little bit of each product. You really do not need that much, especially when you have fine hair. All you're doing is causing a bunch of buildup and heaviness, and it's gonna look greasy and it's gonna look way down. And I do love a good like fluffy hair day, and if you use too much product, you're not gonna get that. you're just not gonna get that. So remember, for fine hair, less is more, less number of products and less of each product. All right, second tip. This one is gonna cost you $0. You don't need to go out and buy products. You don't need to invest in some good machine, nothing like that. It is just to change your hair cut. And I know this one's gonna hurt, and I know a lot of people are gonna disagree with me. That is totally okay. The layers, the face framing, long layers, it's just not doing you any justice. I was obsessed with layers. I kept getting layers ever since like middle school or high school, again and again and again. And yeah, it looks good for like a week or two, especially after coming right out of the salon when they just styled it for you. But by week 3 or the month after that or 2 months later, I swear my hair looked like 2 pieces of string. And one time a teacher actually, I'll never forget this day in high school, she actually told me, your hair does not look good. It looks like you have like 2 strands of hair. I was like, excuse me? But you know what? In retrospect, I needed to hear that. Thank you. Actually, no, not thank you, because that was rude. But thank you, because I actually needed to hear that. And that was the truth. Even after that, I still kept trying to get layers. I tried to get like the V shape. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. I'll put a picture somewhere, but a V shape cut with my hair. Even like the bowl, like it just doesn't work. You need to get a blunt cut, which is just straight across. Gives you that illusion of fuller, longer hair. And honestly, it is fuller. And it is longer and it is healthier. I have been rocking the blunt cut now for more than a year, and it has changed my hair. It has changed my life. My hair actually looks way fuller. It just looks more voluminous. It looks like I have more hair. If you saw me on the street, you wouldn't say like, oh, she has like 2 strands of hair, or she has really fine hair. You just wouldn't think that anymore. So I definitely recommend switching up your haircuts. I know the layers look beautiful. Matilda Jer, beautiful hair. Okay, I know the girls on TikTok with thick hair that do the heatless curls. You know which ones I'm talking about. Those layers are phenomenal on them. I just gave up, okay? I just admitted defeat, and I said, you know what? Layers are not for me. And if you have fine hair like me and you're struggling and you have layers or a V-shaped cut and you're looking at your hair and you're like, why does it look like that? Why doesn't it look like the other girls? That is why you need to switch your haircut to a blunt cut. If you want something a little softer, you don't want it to be so harsh, like straight across, I definitely recommend asking for a blunt cut and then softly rounded corners. So it's not gonna be super straight across. It's gonna be like straight across and then a little rounded at the corners, which makes it look less harsh. But honestly, I've been rocking the blunt cut. I think it looks fine. I honestly, I love it. My hair has never looked so healthy and long until I switched my haircut. I don't do the layers anymore. I don't even do face framing pieces anymore because I just don't think my hair looks good when there's like chunks of hair missing, because I just don't have enough hair to rock that to start with. So book that appointment tonight to get that haircut, blunt cut, and I promise you it will be the best decision you made for your fine hair. All right, tip number 3 is gonna be something that you're gonna have to develop into your routine, a habit that you're gonna have to be consistent with, and it is to tie your hair up or put your hair up in a protective style when you are going to sleep. I used to just go to sleep with my hair down every single night, toss and turn. I'm talking like my hair would just get caught in my shoulder like this, and I just didn't care, okay? It was like just vibes at night. I just didn't care. That was probably one of the worst things I was doing for my hair, and I didn't even realize it. Our hair, because it's fine, it's already so fragile. You don't want to be compromising it at night when you don't even know it, and you're tossing and turning and you're stepping on it and you're causing breakage and you're causing split ends. So the best thing that I incorporated into my routine every single day was putting my hair up to sleep. I use one of those slip silk hair bands. Those are freaking expensive, and I don't know why they're so expensive. I'm sure there are a lot of dupes out there in the world, but those are the ones that I use because they are my absolute favorite ones. They don't tug at my hair. I can put it in like a loose ponytail and they don't just slip right off, but they're also not causing breakage. Just please make sure you're not using one of those regular hair bands, because those are super damaging for your hair. It's constantly pulling out your hair, and basically what it's doing is it's like cutting your hair, which causes a lot of breakage. And my hair is not perfect by any means. I'm not making this video because I'm like, hey guys, my hair is perfect now. Like, no, I'm learning as I go, but I've learned so much I want to share it with you. Anyways, I definitely do have breakage still. I probably still have breakage, and honestly, I feel like at this point it is kind of inevitable with fine hair. Our hair, again, so delicate, so fragile that anything can cause breakage. But sleeping at night with your hair loose or in a tight bun or in a tight ponytail is one of the worst things you can do for your delicate fine hair. Put it in a loose ponytail, put it in a braid, and also I do recommend switching your pillowcase to a silk one. It's way softer on your hair. Your hair just slips and slides on it instead of cotton. one that not only dries your hair, but it can also cause breakage and long-term split ends. All right, tip number 4. This one is going to be interesting. I have science to back it up, so bear with me. You need to be blow drying your hair after every single hair wash day. Now, the only exception, of course, is if you have wavy or curly hair and you're rocking the natural hair day that day. Of course, don't blow dry your hair. That's not necessary. Just style your hair as normal. But if you're gonna do a blowout or you're gonna do any heat styling type of day, or even just a braid, I don't know, whatever else other hairstyle you're gonna do, I definitely recommend blow drying your hair medium to low heat. Keep the blow dryer at a distance. You don't have to have it like directly on your hair because then that can cause heat damage. But there are studies that show that blow drying your hair is actually healthier for your hair rather than letting it air dry. Now, this study in specific is kind of inconclusive, so there's a lot of mixed opinions about it. Look at it yourself, read for yourself, come up with the decision yourself. But personally, I decided that blow drying my hair is healthier than letting it air dry every single time, because the long-term contact with water and your hair can actually be more damaging long-term than medium to low heat. Again, blow dryer at a distance. I will say I have noticed a big difference from blow drying my hair every time I wash my hair. Of course, again, the exception is if I'm styling it wavy. Every day after hair wash day, instead of letting it air dry, I have noticed less breakage, less dryness, and less split ends. I even got a haircut a couple of months ago, and my mom is actually my hairstylist. Since she's my mom, she does not hesitate to tell me what is wrong with my hair, and she always tells me, you have so many split ends. And I'm like, why? Like, ever since I started blow drying my hair after every hair wash day, my split ends have basically disappeared. And when I went to get a haircut with her like a couple weeks back, she was like, you don't even have that many split ends. Like that's so unusual for your hair, because again, our hair is very fine and delicate, so we're just more prone to split ends. But after blow drying my hair after every hair wash day, I have noticed a big improvement in that aspect. And again, dryness, breakage, and split ends in general, gone. Okay, gone after I started blow drying my hair. And again, I'm not talking about directly putting the blow dryer to your hair. I'm talking about keeping it at a distance and 10-15 minutes blow drying your hair. I promise you, it makes all of the difference, and there's science to back it up. Tip number 5, this one is one that people underestimate so much, and I see it all the time. I will see a girl on TikTok or on YouTube or wherever else literally grabbing her brush and like going at it. Our hair is so fine, it is so delicate. Every time you grab that brush and just run it through your hair like that, you are breaking off a little piece. Okay, you are like pulling that hair, and eventually it is just gonna break off. I used to be one of those people. I didn't understand and I didn't care, and I'm telling you, I would just go at it for like minutes at a time, and worse when it was wet. Our hair, again, I have to say this again so you really understand it. Our hair is so fine and delicate, but when it's wet, it is even more fine and delicate. I'm talking like 3 times as much. When your hair is wet, that is when you get the most breakage. So that's why they tell you, don't put your hair up when it's wet. Don't, pull at your hair when it's wet, because it is so delicate, it'll just snap right off. And because our hair is fine, it is even more delicate than normal. So do not brush your hair so aggressively, and do not brush your hair when it is wet unless you've used prep. I'm talking a leave-in conditioner or a detangler spray, and then you can go in with a brush. But use one of the brushes that are made for wet hair or that are made for detangling. Don't use like a regular brush, because again, that is just going to be damaging for your hair. My favorite is to use a comb on wet hair because it is the most delicate for wet hair. Again, make sure you're using a leave-in conditioner or prep first. And when you're brushing your hair and it's dry, beautiful. Treat your hair like it is a princess, okay? Very softly, very gently. If you get a knot, don't start like, trying to kill it. Just very gently. This has made such a difference in my hair, and it's such a small tip that people often, oh my gosh, I love brushing my hair, you guys. It is such a small tip that people often underestimate or look over when it is so important for your hair. Tip number 7, I don't think this applies to everyone, but I am gonna say it because it is very trendy right now, and it is that slick back buns. Those very tight ponytails, very tight buns are not our friend. Again, you see the girls on TikTok with beautiful luscious thick hair doing the blowouts, voluminous hair, and then the next day they're doing a slick back, and you think, I can do that too. But the truth is, our hair is just way more delicate than that. Every time you're doing a slick back bun, I want you to hear this. and I want you to really remember this. Every time you're doing a slick back bun, you are causing breakage. Because you have such fine and delicate hair, there's no way there's not at least a few strands of hair that are just popping right off. Every time you take that hairband out and you look at it and there's hair all over it, that is all the breakage, all the hair pulling you have caused, because there's so much tension, there's so much pressure, and then on top of that, you have the hairband also cutting like literally the middle of your hair. So it causes so much breakage and hair loss. Even my hairline suffered when I was doing a bunch of slick back buns. So I've tried to cut back on those. You can still put your hair back. I'm talking, you know, a little clip over here, a little gel, you know, a little clip here. You don't have to like have your hair down all the time. But again, I feel like it is very trendy now to do slick back buns and do them so tight with so much pressure. And our fine hair, it's not gonna survive years of doing that. Now, I still love me a good slick back bun. Don't get me wrong. I do one once a week, but that is once a week. Don't do them every single day or every other day. And especially do not do it if your hair is wet. Please. I see people all the time wetting their hair before they do a slick back bun. I'm guilty of that too, okay? That is the worst thing you could do for your hair. Please make sure your hair is dry and just apply the gel directly to your hair. I promise you, it's not much different than wetting your hair, which is just causing a bunch of damage. So just make sure your hair is dry. Keep it to once a week, twice a week at most, but try to minimize overall the amount of slick back buns you're doing or any tight, super like pressure pulling hairstyle in general, because the more you leave your hair down, the more you just like let it do its thing, the healthier it's gonna be and the longer it's gonna grow. All right, guys, we are at our final tip, and this one is the most obvious one, but I fear it must be said. Heat and bleach, it's a no-go for our fine hair. I didn't want to admit that. I didn't want to believe that. I used to bleach my hair and I used to apply heat to my hair literally like every single day, and that is when my hair was in the absolute worst condition. This will probably be the last time I say this in this video, but again, our hair is so fine and delicate. The heat and the bleach, it's killing it. You are just literally poisoning every single hair strand every time you bleach your hair and every time you apply a lot of high and direct heat. I think the bleach is pretty much self-explanatory. Bleach is not good for any kind of hair, but especially fine hair. Now, when it comes to heat, I have learned how to work with heat with my hair and not let it be so damaging for my fine hair. For example, blow drying my hair with the blow dryer from a distance instead of directly onto my hair. That is still applying heat, but way less heat, so it's not as damaging. Now, when it comes to like curling irons or when it comes to flat ironing my hair, I just try to keep the heat as low as possible. I don't know why I used to crank that bad boy up to like 400 degrees, and I was like, I need to have high heat on my hair. No, you really don't. And because we have fine hair, our hair is so much more sensitive to heat, so that's both a good thing and a bad thing. Good thing because you don't need as much heat to heat style your hair. Low heat is perfectly fine. I promise you will get the hairstyle you want. But also a bad thing because that means that any heat you apply is essentially bad for your hair. Do with that information what you will, but the way that I took it was that I can use heat. It just has to be low heat and in moderation, okay? 1 to 2 times a week is all you need. Don't apply heat to your hair every single day. Don't go bleaching your hair every month or two, because your fine hair is going to struggle. It is going to struggle with all that heat and bleach. All right, you guys, I think I made some valid points. I know some of these sound pretty obvious, but I made this video for the girls who were like me in high school and in college, and I just didn't want to admit that. I didn't want to hear that, or honestly, I just didn't know. And while it may sound obvious to you, it's not obvious to everyone. Some of these tips are hidden little tips and tricks of mine. Try them out and you will see the difference in your fine hair. I love my hair now, and I'm not trying to sound like cocky or arrogant about it, because I feel like that does sound a little bit cocky, but I used to hate my hair. I didn't understand it. I hated that I invested so much money in products that I thought would fix my hair, when really it just came down to my routine and the way that I was treating my hair and the way that I was looking at my hair. I wanted it to be something that it wasn't. I wanted it to be, you know, long and luscious and thick. I wanted layers. I wanted to bleach it. I wanted just everything that just wasn't compatible with my hair. Now that I have taken the time to understand it and work with it, it has paid off and it has thanked me. It has rewarded me. And now my hair, I think, is just so much healthier. It's getting really long. I still want it to be a little longer, you know, summer's right around the corner, but it is getting longer. I am thankful that my hair is healthy and that it is growing and that I am learning to love it. So I hope this video helped you learn to love your hair a little bit more. If you want to see some routines or products, definitely go check out my YouTube channel because I have a lot of those up already. But again, I hope this video helped. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm wishing all of my fine haired besties not just a good hair day, a good hair life. Thank you.